What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Trey Jones. Today we're going to be talking about performance anxiety symptoms, otherwise known as stage fright. So go ahead and smash the like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt. Leave me a comment down below. Let everybody know your symptoms of performance anxiety or stage fright, your story, and ways that you cope with it if you have been able to cope with it. Okay, guys, something important to know from the get-go. You don't have to be a musician, an athlete, a public performer, a public speaker to deal with performance anxiety. This can happen in your own home, church, your work, at school. It can happen out in public, pretty much everywhere. Okay? I think most people in this world, and I say most, there might be a few studs out there that never feel pressure, that are probably not watching this video, but I think most people, especially the guys that are watching this video, have dealt with some type of performance anxiety in their lifetime. It's very, very common. It doesn't necessarily mean you have an anxiety disorder, so don't jump to conclusions. I had performance anxiety before I developed my anxiety disorders. I have dealt with this my entire life. I was a trumpet player from 6th grade to college. That's actually part of my scholarships for college. I was very, very good at it, but I had quite a few number of shaky performances. I was an athlete off and on. I played various sports. I was a public speaker. I was on the debate team. I was actually a youth worship leader at my church, so I sang in front of everybody. So I've done a lot of things in my life. I've overcome a lot of feats. So if I can do this, I know for sure that you can do it. Take this YouTube channel, for example. I have over 36,000 subscribers. That's like me being a stadium and 36,000 people watching me, all eyes on me. I still get a little bit nervous whenever I push play. I'm not going to lie, but I know how to cope with it. And you know what? This channel, regardless of my performance anxiety, is very, very successful. Over 36,000 subscribers, over 3 million views, over 800 videos. I've been able to do this. So use that as some encouragement. So guys, why is this actually happening? Why are we feeling anxious whenever it's time to perform? Well, obviously there's some obvious reasons, like all lights are on us, all eyes are on us. We have been practicing for this moment. Now it's our moment. Please don't mess up. These are all thoughts that went through my head. I have practiced and practiced and practiced for this. If I were to mess up right now and mess this whole thing up, all of that was a waste. So a lot of irrational thoughts. But there's something else happening on a deeper level. It's actually our fight or flight response. Our fight or flight response is there to help us either flee or fight off danger. Very, very important. We have needed that throughout the evolution of humanity, okay? The crazy thing is that we're viewing these performances as actually dangerous situations. For instance, if you are about to play a solo with a piano to some judges, you're basically viewing that situation as a tiger attacking you. It seems very irrational because it is irrational. And this brings a lot of different symptoms. Most of these just mimic anxiety disorder symptoms. It's important to get diagnosed by a professional, by the way, guys. Don't assume that just because you get anxious when you perform, which is very, very common, that you have anxiety disorder. Those are two different things. But a lot of these symptoms are mimicking anxiety symptoms. Now, there's hundreds and thousands of these, and some people will experience them more severely than others, but I'm gonna give you some common ones, some that I dealt with and that many of you are dealing with, and I'll try to use examples in some of my performances, but I'm gonna give you some coping mechanisms at the end of this video that can hopefully help you, so stick around for that. The first one, guys, is very, very common, especially with public speakers and musicians. That is dry mouth. This is one of the symptoms of our fight or flight response, anxiety in general. Make sure that you have water, either in a glass or a bottle if you are able. Not all performances allow this, so make sure that you hydrate before and after. But for instance, as a public speaker, my mouth would get dry because I was nervous, and it would lead to cracks in my voice. It would lead to me having to clear my throat. It would lead to difficulty speaking or getting any words out. I would often cough, and this would just make my performance a little awkward, a little bit shaky. As a musician, whenever my mouth was dry, I could not play very well. You need to have a little bit of moisture in your mouth to play into a mouthpiece, especially if you're a singer as well. If you're singing, you need moisture in your mouth. So stay hydrated, my friends. The next one, guys, a lot of you can relate with is trembling or shakiness. This was like a killer for me. Now, if you're an athlete, it may not be so bad. You can actually play through this, and the adrenaline can actually be used in your favor at times. But if you're a musician and you're shaking with your trumpet, for instance, this is the position that I would hold it. It can really mess up your playing with any instrument. If you're talking, many of you have been put on the spot, okay? Whether that be at church or at school, at your job, or even at your home. and you started to talk, maybe you had to pray, and you're speaking and you just find that your voice is shaking and it affects your speech. So that's something that I would deal with as well. Now, whenever your fight or flight response kicks in and your adrenaline is flowing, that's gonna increase our respiration, so our breathing is gonna go up. Some people actually hyperventilate. Some people actually have panic attacks before their performances. With this, we'll bring a faster heart rate, which also means that our blood pressure can go up, so we can also be dealing with that. Some people get the butterfly effect in their stomach. Butterfly effect, that's the wrong term. Butterflies in your stomach. Nausea. I would actually get nauseated before my music performances. And a lot of this happened with my music performances because that's what I was the best at. Over anything else that I've ever done in my life, that is something that I take pride in. That was the most pressure for me. And you will figure out which thing that you're good at that gives you the most pressure. For me, it was performing in front of judges or an audience with my instrument. So during that moment, before my performance, I would actually get sick to my stomach. Not every time, but if it was of greater magnitude, I would definitely get nauseated. Some other symptoms, guys, you can get headaches, you can get chills, you can get aches and pains, spasms, twitches. Basically every symptom of anxiety after those first common ones, you can definitely deal with. So guys, these symptoms are gonna be happening. So what are you gonna be able to do about this? What can you do? Okay, well, the first one is you need to make sure that your anxiety is under control. There are things that you can do long-term to control these smaller moments. You need to be overall healthy. And the first thing I'm gonna start out with is hydration. Most people in this world are chronically dehydrated. You need to be drinking from the minute you get up to the minute you go to sleep. And I'm talking about water. I'm not talking about alcohol, caffeine, the sodas, energy drinks, limit even things like sweet tea. And if you're just drinking fruit juice all day, it's high in sugar, that's not great for your health. You need to make sure that you're exercising. You're using some of this pent up energy. Guys, you need to be doing that. If you don't ever exercise and you have a borderline panic attack or adrenaline rush during a performance, all that energy is coming out. So you need to make sure that you're working out, make sure that you're jogging, doing at least like 15 to 30 minutes of even light exercise every day, or at least every other day, okay? All of us can find time to do that. Make sure that you're eating right. The things that we are putting in our body really, really affect us. So make sure that we are doing that. We are what we eat. So a plant-based diet, plenty of fruits, plenty of vegetables. Make sure that we're staying away from too much sugar. That is not gonna help you with the jitteriness, the trembling, the shaking, our nerves. Make sure that we are putting away caffeine. Now, if you are a musician, if you're an athlete and then you are smoking and you're drinking, this is really going to affect your performances. So substances like tobacco, alcohol, drug use, you got to ditch those, okay? You need to be fully clean, you need to be in your right mind for performing. Now, let's get into something a little bit more broader. You need to actually practice. I'm not talking about just practice a little bit. For me, the way that I was really able to overcome my musician struggles was that I practiced probably more so than anybody else out there. You can apply this for public speaking. You can apply this as an athlete. You need to practice. And not only do you need to practice, but you need to practice, I said practice like a million freaking times. You need to practice for things to go wrong. Now, if something goes wrong during your performance, you have practiced that scenario so many times that you are able to overcome it. This is gonna give you confidence. It's gonna make your confidence a lot higher. Something else that you can practice, and meditation is great for this. I actually encourage you to do this while meditating. Visualize your performance, visualize the crowd, visualize all eyes on you, and then visualize yourself doing what you need to do to be successful during that performance. That can go a long, long ways. So hopefully, guys, these tips will help you out. Try some deep breathing exercises as well. They are gonna help you out if you apply them each and every day. Also, if your performance is later in the afternoon, you need to start preparing for that moment early in the morning. Don't sleep in, don't stay up late the night before. Sleep is also important. So guys, if you got value out of this, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. I have tons of resources down below. If you haven't actually been to therapy before and you're suspicious that you have an anxiety disorder, online therapy is in the description down below. It's cheaper, more affordable than in-person therapy. You can choose from hundreds and thousands of therapists and counselors. They'll pair you up, actually. You get a free sign up and an evaluation. They'll pair you up with somebody that can meet your needs the best. And you can do it on the phone or your PC. But there's tons of other resources. Also, guys, remember, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you have experienced as far as performance anxiety or stage fright, some symptoms, some coping mechanisms, etc., etc. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I will talk to you later.